how was your pie? How did your pie experience go this week? I hope it was good. I hope you ate them pies. I had some pecan. I had some key lime. I had some pumpkin pie, baby. I hope you fill your life with some pie this year.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tibersi.
Hello and what is up, my ding-dongs and drip-drops? This is your host, Rudy Tibersi, on another episode of Jokes and the Gym. Coming at you with a little bit of a good news, bad news situation this week. The good news is this week on episode 49, I had one of my finest guests all year join the program. And the hilarious and accomplished, very funny Matt Braunger was on the pod, and we had a great convo. We chatted for like a full freaking hour. He dropped some knowledge nuggets, some hilariousness on me, and you are not going to get to hear any of it. Yeah, that's on me. I kind of fumbled the bag with the audio this week, unfortunately. Matt and I had a chat over FaceTime, not on my normal recording platform, and guess what? I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to get the proper recording set up. And so I have an hour. I screen recorded it, and you can hear my voice poorly, and his voice, none. Exactly zero. And I played around with it, and I fiddled with the computer, and I had to, so I tried to delete things and erase things and move things around on the computer, make space for it all. And none of it worked. And fortunately, the conversation that Matt Braunger and I had will be left in our minds. That's just a convo for me and Matt. And you know, that's okay. That's okay. That's what happens. I did this. That was my 49th. This is the 49th week of the show. I've done a lot. And for this to be the first one that I fully just like tripped and ate dust, freaking face plant. For this to be the first one of those, that's okay. That's something. You know what I mean? I've been working my tail off all year to produce and to get awesome guests and people that I like talking to and want to learn from. And I've been able to do that. And I was able to do that this week. But unfortunately, you're not necessarily going to be able to do the same. And so the week after a big old Thanksgiving holiday, you know, we're still getting back into it. That's when we recorded, was last week before the holiday. And so lots of stuff going on, and I'm trying to like do my best and like not overstep or not push too hard. Sometimes when you produce a show and you get guests and you're trying to book people, and this same thing happens when I was booking shows, like doing shows as well. It's like you have to communicate with people in a really just kind of fluid way. You need to take what they're giving you and do your best to go hit it back in a way that's appropriate, that'll make it able for them to respond in kind and in some way. And anyways, that's just a long way of saying it's not always easy to produce shows, especially when you're doing a bunch all at once, kind of. And so I was just so delighted that Matt wanted to chat and chop it up, and I'm super stoked that we got to do that. It was a blast, and we had a great time. But unfortunately, you won't be able to hear much of it. I might include like a little clip of some of my side of the conversation, because you can hear like my side, but not well. And it's like at local gyms and things like this. Because the screen record is kind of weird. When you do a screen record on, at least on my Mac, it wasn't recording from the audio input. And again, that could have been my problem. I probably messed it up. It was just like the in-computer speaker that was picking up what was coming out of my mouth and what would have come out of the speakers of the actual computer. Does that make sense? Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're in the weeds. I'm in the weeds. These are the weeds. Are you in the weeds? Sometimes it's fun to get in them weeds. You know what I mean? Like, I like getting my fingers dirty and seeing what really is in there. And that is something that I also applied to being a personal trainer. It's like, there's the hour of personal training where you're with the people, where you're helping them train, where you're on the gym floor. They're pumping iron. You're going, let's do it, friend. Come on. We're making it happen. And that is fun. That is when the juices are flowing. That is when we're doing the work. But then there's also the times where you got to prep. You got to do the back end work. You got to do all this other part of the job that isn't the fun part. You know what I mean? Like, same with comedy, podcasting, working out, training, anything you love, anything you want to do to get your hands dirty in it, you better freaking love it. Because there's a lot of other shit that goes along with it. And it's not all fun. And it's not all the same kind of work. The thing about being an entrepreneur is like, yeah, I'm going to open my own friggin' tax accounting firm. And because I love taxes. But there's so much other work that isn't just doing the taxes. You know what I mean? Like finding the customers, getting the clients, and teaching them what they need to bring, getting the word out, making sure everything is done as it should be. I don't know why I'm talking about taxes. I have a friend who's a tax guy, and so that's probably why. He won't listen to this, though, so sorry, Tim. And I guess the point is just like, I'm glad I enjoy the things that I do. I really enjoy being a trainer, working with people. I really enjoy working out and being at the gym. I really enjoy doing stand-up comedy. But some of the things on the other sides of the actual acts are not quite as fun. You know what I mean? It's like getting to the point of being able to dive in. There's a lot of other work you got to do. And I'm saying all this week because I didn't do it. I didn't make it all happen as smoothly as I could have. And that's a drag. And maybe Matt will be able to be on season 2 sometime because we're coming up on episode 49 right now and 50 next week, which will be my season finale. Season 150. Great freaking episodes with another amazing comic, one of my favorite comics and a good friend, someone I'm lucky to be able to call a friend. Kyle Kinane is next week for episode 50. But episode 49 is where we're at right now. And because I screwed the pooch, as they say, why do people say that? Why do people say screwed the pooch? That's gross. That's freaking gross. Who screwed a pooch? What happened? How did that come into being, that phrase? Oh, did you go get the groceries, Sam? Oh no, I got held up on the way. Oh God, Sam, what happened? Well, there's this beautiful corgi. Oh no, why'd I go with a corgi, Sam? You sick freak. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. It's all good. Life is freaking life. It's the holiday season. 'Tis the season, my mans and womans and peepans. Peepans. People. And so that's how it goes sometimes. And I'm not going to just rush out another episode. The episode 50 is going to be episode 50. And so I'm disappointed. But also, moving forward, I'm going to be taking a step back as far as regularity of guests on the podcast. I like the weekly element. I like to, maybe I'll just do every, twice a month guests. And the other times will just be 10 to 15 minute episodes. It's called Jokes in the Gym. Maybe I'll do one jokes episode and one gym episode. Or you know what? Maybe I'll get some personal training clients on my show. Maybe I'll get some other trainers or other people in the fitness industry. That's another thing I'd like to start doing more of in season 2, is getting other trainers, fitness professionals, bodybuilders, all kinds, coaches, athletes, whoever on the show, in addition to comedians and other podcasters and creatives. It doesn't even have to be people who are straight up comedians, but just people who are out there doing their thing, whatever that is. Because I love talking with people about their passions, their interests, their pursuits, and seeing what I can learn from them. Because that's been the whole goal of this year of shows, is what can I learn from these people? And I just try to take that mindset into every conversation. What can I learn from them? And yeah, I'm spouting off here and there because I'm a loudmouth and this is my show. But I want to learn. There's so many people I have in my life, and I'm excited that I've focused on relationships over the years, because then it's easy to pick up where we left off and sit down and chat. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I get nervous before every single one of these podcasts. It's kind of like a show. It's kind of like performing, in the sense that I want to be on. I'm there to, I guess, entertain is a word for it, but I'm also there to be a human being and have a conversation with somebody else, because it's kind of hard sometimes to balance that host and human differentiation, because it's like you want to do both. You want to be a host and a human. And sometimes when you're too hosty, it comes off as, I don't know, disingenuous or forced or something like that. And when you come off as too human, it comes off as aloof or lackadaisical or apathetic. And that's not what I want. I want the people that I'm with to know that I appreciate their time. And sometimes you got to kind of puff it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling good, even though I'm disappointed that I let myself down, let Matt down, let my listeners down. Sorry about that. But I'm still here. Had a great chat with Matt. One of the things that, we touched on, and I'm not going to go into too much of what we chatted about, but I think some of the stuff I learned or heard Matt say along the way that was really helpful or resonant with me was how maybe earlier in his career, he said no to more things because of X, Y, or Z, because of whatever reason. But looking back, he probably would have been okay just giving more stuff a shot sometimes. And Matt's had an awesome career. He's done a lot of awesome comedy. He's been on shows and movies and all sorts of stuff. But just that knowledge of even these successful comedians that we look up to, that we admire, that we appreciate, that we enjoy, also have these things of like, oh, I could have done this a little differently. I probably could have played that a tad in another way. And so to be able to chop it up with Matt about some of those things was pretty cool. So I've taken that to heart, like in a variety of things in just the last week or so since he said it. It's like, oh yeah, it's like there's a couple opportunities placed in front of me that I wasn't sure if they're right for me as far as a fit. But it's like, you know what? They're not awful. They're not bad gigs or anything like that. It's just like, oh, that's not quite my comfort zone. But you know what? I should probably just do it and see if it works. I'm delighted when people invite me to do stuff. I'm flattered. And so I want to do my best, whether that's a show for 5 or 500 people. Yeah, we'll see how things go. But that was just something that resonated with me, and a little bit of that conversational juice flowing between Matt and I. And he was awesome. It was a blast to chat. We caught up a bit because we saw each other here in Eugene. He did a show in Eugene a month or two ago, and we caught up there, and that was awesome. So the fact that he wanted to be on the pod at all was delightful. It was awesome. And sorry I fucked it up, but that's life, ain't it? Ain't that just how life goes? Sometimes you work and hustle and do your best, and all that comes up of it is a juicy, fat nothing burger. And I'm not going so far as to say a juicy, fat nothing burger is what came out, but it wasn't what I wanted to come out of the conversation, obviously. So we're getting there. We're getting into December and we're moving along and things are going to be choppy. Things are going to be going in different places and you can't control all of it. I have found over the years that when I am in a place of acknowledging the fact that challenges and unexpected circumstances will arise, when I know that's going to happen, then I'm in a better mindset to be able to deal with those challenges. Be water. Be water. Be able to flow with whatever's happening. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes. I want to be me, Rudy, but I also want to incorporate a little H2O in there, baby. Fluid. I got to be able to change with the times. I got to be able to go with the flow. I got to be able to take up different spaces because we're not always going to be in the same space. It's not always going to be the same thing that we're doing. And that's okay. But when I don't have that in mind and those bumpy waters come up, do it the best. And so I think fucking up is a good reminder that it's part of life, that you're learning, that you're growing, that you're doing things that are a little bit out of the typical zones. I like them comfort zones, though. I tell you what, you see this cat behind me? He likes a comfort zone. I like a comfort zone. I want to be cuddly and warm and happy. And I am a lot of the times. But I also continue to think about something my counselor has said recently, which is to try to do something a little bit uncomfortable most days. Maybe he even said every day, but I said most because I don't do it every day. Did you hear that? I don't do it every day. I don't do all the good things for myself every day, but I try. I try to stay consistent. I try to get up and move around a little. Try to tell people I love them. I try to do a push-up. Try to drink some water. Try to eat some food. Try to move my body. And when I do those things, I find I'm happier. And I don't think it's bullshit to say that you'd probably be happier if you did those things too. You might not be. You might not be. It might not make a dent. You might be stuck in the muck. And a push-up or a walk or a hug or a good meal isn't going to get you out of the muck. But it might get you moving around in there. And that's how we get out. You know? Just move around in there a little bit so you know you're alive in that muck. I'm fortunate that I've been one of those people, even when it's been challenging in my life, I'm able to barrel forward. And that's not a brag. That's just like when I'm sad, I go to the gym. When I'm happy, I go to the gym. A lot of things like that. And so when I have that in my arsenal of tools to use to battle against depression, that's good. The greater assortment of tools I have, the more I'm able to give it a try. So yeah, that's kind of what I like to do with this podcast, is just try to figure out some of other people's tools. See what kind of works for me, what might work for you. What are the things that people are doing that are getting them through their days? Because I might not be able to help you do everything in the world you want to do. Only you can do that. But I can give you some ideas from other people and myself that could help you move forward a little bit. I think that's a skill I have. I think that that's something I do. It's like I work out, I move around. These are things that I love to do, and I'm happy to preach the gospel of pumping iron. You know what I mean? But sometimes that's not enough either. But a lot of days it is. I'm going to go pump some iron today. I wanted to record this before I did that. So I had the energy to do it. Because after I go hard in the gym, I have less energy for other stuff. And that's something I try to remember and keep in mind when I have a full plate. And when I have a full plate, like on them holidays, going to the gym helps me be able to eat every freaking thing on that plate and go back for seconds and more pie, please. How was your pie? How did your pie experience go this week? I hope it was good. I hope you ate them pies. I had some pecan. I had some key lime. I had some pumpkin pie, baby. I hope you fill your life with some pie this year, this week, this day, this month, or not. But fill it with something you love. Fill it with something that your body will thank you for, that your mind will be happy you did, that your future self will say, you know what, Pass, Rudy, I'm glad you did that. Thanks for them squats. Thanks for them push-ups. Thanks for all that stuff. Because I didn't want to do it at the time, but now I kind of, you know what? I don't want you to tell anyone, but I kind of feel better. Oh, what's that, future Rudy? You kind of feel better because past Rudy did something for you? Imagine that. So do something for your future self. Thank your past self. And be your current self, one way or another, my mans, womans, people. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
Take your shots. Be open to stuff. I love it. It's good to hear that also from somebody who's like an established comedian, a working presence, and who's in a bigger market. It's like, even in LA, it's not up to everyone else. It's up to you, essentially. Sorry, I fucked it up. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym.